Welcome to another Power Hour presentation from the Canada Growth Network.
It sounds like you all use social media, which is fantastic, and you all use it in different ways for different things, which is brilliant. What I tend to find with people, and I don't know if you are one of these people, or if you're not, you probably know people who are these people. There seems to be an illusion that social media belongs to you. So it's, hey, it's my Facebook page, my LinkedIn page, whatever. I can post what I want, when I want, how I want. Sadly, that is not going to get you very far because firstly, the page and the content you post belongs to Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever you're posting. That's the first thing. And secondly, the reason you're posting your client stories, your testimonials, whatever it is to attract customers. So what I tend to find is that people say, I think this is interesting. I wanted to post this. Doesn't matter about the avatar, the client, the whatever terminology you want to use. And this is where it all falls down, is because people, you need to put yourself in their shoes, not only when you're posting business content, but I mean, I don't know who your clients are, but let's say you have a whole, like in my case, I have a whole bunch of clients that are Jewish. Now, that's not a big deal. It means when I post content for them or I post content for me, I need to include some content about massive Jewish holidays. I mean, for them, I would maybe post more the smaller ones as well. For me, I don't tend to because I'm personally not Jewish, so I don't know a lot about the little holidays. So I post the ones that I know what I'm doing. Otherwise, it's kind of not a good thing to do. What I tend to find is that people don't consider their customer. Don't. So when you post, and I'm hoping that is you're considering what your customer wants to know about your product or your service. So it has to be written in a language they understand. And I don't just mean English. It means Chris does something that's technical. Percy does something that's technical. Francis does something that's technical. If it's technical and you're talking to an audience who don't speak technical, it's a waste of time. So it has to be written in the language they're in, so kind of meet them where they can understand it. It also needs to be clear. And what I tend to find, and you guys have probably come across it on social as well, is people write kind of like a message that makes sense to them, but then somebody else reads it and it's very ambivalent, or it's got extra words, it's got spelling mistakes, it's poor grammar, and it doesn't really mean what they think it means. So it's about writing something, taking 5-10 minutes out of it, going back and rereading it. Does it make sense? Is it going to connect with the person I'm trying to, or the audience I'm trying to connect with? If the answer is no, change it. If the answer is yes, go ahead and post it. And it's things like that. And it's also working out, what does your customer need to know? Because this is another thing that I tend to find is missing a lot from people's, not just their social media, but their digital presence in general. So their websites, their blogs, all this kind of thing, is what is it you actually do? What are the benefits of what you do to the customer? So it's not just, hey, I can help you with your end of year accounts. Great. Why does that benefit people? They're going to get, huge tax bills at the end of the month? No. And it's things like that. And I tend to find that people write content that doesn't explain what they do. And then people go, why is my product or service not moving? Well, it's not moving because people don't really know who you are, what you are, or why you are. So they're not connecting. And then the next big thing, and I'm hoping you do all do this, social media is wider than your business page or your business group or groups that you're in, like, the CGN page. And what I tend to find is that people forget to go and post it in groups or pages where their avatar is at, if that makes sense. And what I tend to find is that when you don't do that, you're not reaching a wide audience. And if you've already got people that follow your content and you don't post in a new place, you're only talking to the same people. And with the best will in the world, unless they're already a customer, they haven't bought from you before, they're not going to buy from you now. Not unless you have something that is absolutely amazing that you've just brought out. So you need to be constantly talking to new people. But that also applies to, using a bit of assistance. It might be using a bit of AI to streamline your content, not write your content, but streamline who you're writing it for. So doing a bit of background research. Where's the best place to post this? It might be jumping on Bernie's podcast, in which case you're leveraging, and I'm sorry, Bernie, maybe I shouldn't be encouraging this, leveraging his network so that you're then marketing to a wider audience. But it's also using the tools that Percy and Bernie have through GoHighLevel, because you're maximizing it. And instead of spending, social media, I don't know if, I bet everybody kind of feels this. It's a rabbit warren. You go in and it's full of millions of pieces of content, and you go in, you say, I've got 5 minutes, I want to go and write a post about whatever. And then you go, my friends posted, or, oh, there's a cool cat video. And you're off down that rabbit warren, you still sat there 2 hours later and you've done nothing. Use systems like GoHighLevel. Spend 1 hour, get it to post to social media so you don't have to track it. And instead of having to go in and respond to Instagram and Facebook messages via Meta Business Suite or directly through each platform, leverage GoHighLevel. It makes it more efficient. You're not going to, sadly, and maybe they'll change it, but sadly there are no cat videos on there. So you're not going to end up going down that rabbit warren. And I think this is what it's about. It's about using the tools in your arsenal. And if you don't know who your audience is and you're not sure that a piece of content is going to hit the right people in the right way, you're not posting in the right places, is asking other people. So you have a network of people. You don't have to come and talk to somebody like me unless you particularly want to, in which case I'm quite happy to chat with you. It might be a question of you want to turn around and say, hey, Bernie, I'm doing this new thing. Do you want to have a look at it and see what you think? Or can I get your advice on? And this is what we don't do. We just post stuff and we run events and we don't share them wide enough. So we don't create Facebook and LinkedIn events. We put it on Eventbrite and leave it, or we do a post on social media and then we go, oh, nobody came to the event. And I think this is the problem, is that social media is very time consuming, but it's a necessary kind of evil. Yes, you can run your business without it, but it depends where you want to reach people. And I think pretty much all of us can do business internationally. So relying on word of mouth, it's not really enough. We need to be doing it wider, but equally social media you need more than social media. So you need, blog articles and websites and email marketing campaigns, all of which a lot of us can probably kind of work with and assist you with. But it's a question of, it's a tiny piece, but it's the piece that it's the easiest piece in the sense, not the algorithms, because they're not easy to understand, but it's the easiest piece to put in place, because you can run your posts, your ads, your reels, your stories, and just leave them. You don't need to do anything with it. Obviously, if somebody comments, then you want to engage with that. But for the most part, it runs itself. But a lot of people they don't give it the time that it needs. So, I don't know how long I've been talking. I kind of feel like I've just been kind of preaching to the converted. But I think sometimes it's one of those things that you just need to think about it. And then, I could go down the path of explaining to you algorithms and hashtags. And if anybody really wants to know about that, I can absolutely do that. It's just one of those things that algorithms change on a daily basis. You have to make the platform work for you. And they say, I don't know how many people, and you guys might be amongst these people, they go, I really hate Facebook. It doesn't do a lot for me. It's just full of people having their dinner. It's full of stupid videos. It's just rubbish or garbage. Sorry if I changed my vernacular. However, there is a statistic that says 80% of people will check for a business on Facebook before they'll look for your storefront or your website. So you might hate it, but it's something that you should have in the background. It doesn't have to be your primary thing. Do a couple of posts a week on Facebook. If LinkedIn's more your space, do more posts on LinkedIn. It's just something that keeps it ticking over, because there's nothing worse. Because I don't know how many people I've spoken to in the last 6 months who've gone, oh, I've got an X account I never use. I've got an Instagram account I never use. I've got TikTok and I don't know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it, either learn, which is maybe a bit mean, or don't use it, because you don't have to have, 10,000 social media platforms if your audience are not on 10,000 platforms. Just work out where you need to be and focus on where you need to be. And if it's not something you want to do, enjoy doing, then outsource it. And that's not me trying to plug to get business from you. It's one of those things that There's nothing worse than you doing something you don't like because you inevitably spend longer doing it and then you're making less money because you're not spending time doing what you should be doing, if that makes sense.
Thank you for watching. We host a free to attend session every Monday from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern.